This Mark III model Mercedes B-Class represents the brand's third stab at what it calls its sports tourer. As for what exactly one of those might be, you can get a feel for the answer at first glance. Here's a car that's clearly more practical and versatile than a Golf or Focus-sized family hatch, but not as frumpy and high-set as a 5-seater C-Max or Scenic-like mid-sized MPV. It's the Mercedes take on compact, upwardly mobile motoring for a compact, upwardly mobile family.
Like its A-Class showroom stablemate, the B-Class has been getting progressively more sporty as model generations have come and gone, which is another of the reasons why Mercedes wants to position it as a sports tourer rather than an MPV. It certainly doesn't drive like an ordinary people carrier, thanks in part to the stiffer, more sophisticated MF-A2 platform used with this third generation model. Body rolls kept well in check, and you're favoured with prodigious grip that's impressively untroubled by mid-corner bumps. 2 passive suspension arrangements are offered. There's a basic torsion beam package for the lower powered models, and there's a suppler multi-link setup for the more powerful 2-litre versions. Ah yes, engines. Well, let's tell you about those. The most affordable versions get powerplants developed by Mercedes in conjunction with its European alliance partner Renault. As before, there is a 116 horsepower 1.5 litre diesel for the popular B180D derivative, or a couple of more recently developed 1.3 litre petrol units, either the 136 HP engine fitted to the base B180 or the 163 HP B200, which features cylinder deactivation technology. And that's enough to help this particular B-Class deliver reasonable efficiency figures, up to 46.3 mpg on the combined cycle and 126 grams per kilometre of CO2 with the 7G DCT automatic that most buyers will want. You have to have this self-shifter if you go for either of the 2-litre petrol models, the 190 HP B220 4MATIC and the 224 HP B250. Here though, we've opted to test the 2-litre diesel, which only comes mated to its own 8-speed auto gearbox. It's available either in the 150 HP B200D variant we're trying today, or in a top B220D 190 HP state of tune. You wouldn't immediately peg this car as any kind of MPV, and of course that is entirely intentional, compact MPVs being about as popular as a dose of flu in some parts of Europe right now. But Mercedes did want to give this third generation B-Class model a little more of the space and practicality that you get from the C-Max and Scenic sector, which is why it's 26mm longer and 10mm wider than its predecessor. Yet at the same time, in justification of that sports tourer tag, it's also 4mm lower, and it boasts easily the sleekest drag factor in the segment, 0.25 CD. Okay, time to check out the part of this car which Mercedes promise will really sell it to you, the interior. Sure enough, it'll be like nothing you've ever previously sat in when it comes to a car of this sort. As always with the B-Class, nearly all the fixtures and fittings are shared with its A-Class showroom stablemate, although the fundamental difference here is the way that your driving position is elevated by 90mm to provide better all-round vision. Instead of the usual cowled instrument binnacle, 2 elongated square colour TFT screens are provided, one for the centre dash infotainment system and the other for the dials that you view through this sophisticated 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel. Now these monitors are both 7 inches in size as standard, but they can be upgraded, as they have been here, to 10.25 inches if you pay extra. The central one is your main interface for the brand's new MBUX, Mercedes-Benz User Experience Multimedia System, which includes hard disk sat-nav and the brand's latest, but sometimes rather frustrating, Hey Mercedes voice control system. Aside from connectivity, the trimming is classy, and although material quality isn't class-leading, it's all put together in a way that really raises the bar for interiors in this segment. Now let's move to the rear seat. There's no more legroom than there was with the previous generation model, although to be fair, provision for that isn't too bad. What will make a huge difference though is if you swap out the standard fixed rear bench that we've got here for the optional sliding back seat, which can be pushed fore and aft over a range of 14 centimetres. Let's finish with a look at the boot. Now the standard powered tailgate rises to reveal a 455 litre capacity. That's a fraction less than the previous generation model provided, but it'll be a very usable space, particularly if, instead of the fixed rear bench we have here, you've opted for the sliding rear seat we mentioned earlier. If your B-Class has that and you're able to slide it right forward, then as much as 705 litres of total boot capacity can be freed up before you have to start folding seats. Now, talking of folding seats, with the standard bench fitted, you have this flexible 40-20-40 split backrest arrangement. Push everything forward and as much as 1,540 litres of space can be freed up. In summary, the Stuttgart maker has at last found a way to make its compact contenders feel worthy of their three-pointed star branding. And the result is the model that this third generation B-Class should always have been. A car that nobody but Mercedes could have built.